Before we get into the latest Dolphins rumors, do you guys trust GM Chris Grier and the Miami Dolphins front office? I want honest answers in the comment section right now. Y for yes, N for no. Let's begin with a familiar-ish rumor. That is Jordan Poyer, who after signing with the Bills last offseason, despite so much linking him to the Miami Dolphins, he has now been cut by the Bills and once again is available as a free agent target. As you guys remember from Will Scott's time, who thought for sure he was going to be a Dolphin, the Dolphins had been linked heavily last offseason. And I do think this still makes sense for Miami. Safety is an area of concern with two of your top players set to be free agents. Anthony Weaver saw the Ravens run multiple safety sets in Baltimore, and I think Jordan Poyer can still be a good player. The Bills chose to cut Poyer, getting a little bit up there in age. They wanted to get younger in the secondary. Of their releases, frankly, this was the one that surprised me a little bit more. Trey White, we'll get to him in a minute, by the way, had injury issues. Mitch Morse was getting older. Poyer, I think, can still play. He's not going to be a superstar player, I don't think. But if he's going to be your safety 2 or 2.5, whatever, on what should be a pretty cheap deal, given how much talent is in the safety market, I do think this makes a lot of sense. Pair him with Jevon Holland. Both those guys can play free and strong safety, can do some split safety stuff. I think this idea, at long last, of Poyer joining the Miami Dolphins makes sense. I like DeShon Elliott. I can re-sign Elliott and add Poyer. And I can say bye-bye to Brandon Jones. He can go get, better chance at playing time elsewhere. With as good as this safety market is, there are a lot of starting caliber players available in free agency. I think you can find Poyer or somebody comparable at a pretty team-friendly cost. So specifically when it comes to Poyer, is he a Dolphin? S for sign, P for pass. It's the pinned comment, by the way, of today's video. You should still know what that means. If the ad comes here on YouTube, ignore it. Nobody cares about an ad. Go down there, type in S for sign or P for pass. Let's discuss another former Bill. That is Tre'Davious White, who has been released by Buffalo. This is because of injuries and their concerns that follow him as a result. He tore his Achilles just 4 games into 2023, stunting a comeback that had cost him a bunch of time previously. When he has been healthy, when he first got paid by the Bills, this was an all-pro caliber corner. This is somebody who was impactful, dynamic, able to do so many things at corner that made him one of the better players at the position. But he has only played 11 games in 2021, 6 games in 2020, 4 games in 2023, has missed time, and all of these injuries, it's going to sap some of the athletic ability. And the medicals are why he got cut. He's missed so much time in recent years. Had he been healthy, I think the Bills would have extended him or at least restructured the contract. And where he sits medically is going to inform other interest. The player will have interest from other NFL teams, potentially including the Miami Dolphins. It's the medical side that is, let's wait and see what that really ends up looking like because White has missed so much time. Tore his ACL early on in 2021 and took him a full year to recover, came back, got healthy, yay, and then missed a bunch of time in 2023 as well with that torn Achilles. ACL and Achilles in what almost amounts to kind of back-to-back time frames, that's a red flag. He hasn't played a full slate of games in 5 years. 2018 was last time he did that. That's not a good thing. You don't get healthier as you get older more often than not. You just maybe get some lucky years mixed in. I do think corner is an area this team will consider pursuing. Xavier Howard says he's not coming back. It's fine. You kind of knew that going in when you cut him. That was going to be the path there for Miami. Ramsey can be your cornerback 1. I want to give Cam Smith a chance. 2nd round pick. You have to play him at some point sooner than later to see what you have in him. You invest a lot in him. I like coming out of South Carolina too. Kidder Cole can be my nickel. Adding a veteran, whether it's a Trey White or maybe someone you think will stay a little bit more healthy, makes all the sense in the world for Miami to give you a higher floor. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. I'm a big fan of what Game Time offers because I don't want to have to stress about finding tickets to my next big event. Like the same way I might be stressing about the NFL draft being less than 50 days away and I'm so far behind, which I got to get going on that as always. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for whatever your next event is. Maybe it's some soccer. Plenty of local options there if you can afford to go see Messi. Miami Heat, Marlins, not that far away from making their return as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code FINSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code PHINSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Of course, do make note, terms apply. But download Game Time today for last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. Justin Simmons is now also a free agent, and this one stands out in a strong safety class, a player Miami should have interest in. Maybe would have made even more sense if Vic Fangio was still in town, but that's a different conversation for another day. After 8 seasons in Denver, the former All-Pro is available. The talent in the free agency market made a trade unlikely, and now someone's going to get a very good safety. Maybe not the same peak prime, player he was at his best, but he's not bad. Denver kind of taking a bit of a, I would argue, weird path this offseason with the way they're kind of rebuilding. Simmons is a very good football player still. Maybe not peak all-pro version, but he's a starting caliber guy. Him and Jevon Holland in the back end is, man, that's a fun grouping. This is a good free agent safety group. It really is. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of guys who can start for you. So figure out which one or which guys you have interest in, and I think you'll be able to sign one or even two of them fairly cheaply. That includes, but is not limited to, guys like DeShon Elliott and Brandon Jones. But with only Jevon Holland of note under contract and a not great draft at safety and the depth in free agency, I would be surprised if Miami didn't do something at this position. I would be surprised if they didn't sign somebody. That is something we will certainly monitor. As free agency gets going, we will have Dolphins news and rumors all throughout the offseason. Plus, it's free when you sub. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/Dolphins News right now. With Jerome Baker now released, the Miami Herald looked at several possible Jerome Baker replacements, a long list of names, almost every top free agent linebacker in a good class. 2 of them stood out to me, though, as potential fits based on what the Herald reported. It was Lavonte David, a Bucs free agent, and Drue Tranquill, the Chiefs free agent. Let's go into why both these guys. David, meanwhile, was the subject of this report from the Miami Herald. The Dolphins have discussed David as an option, but could opt for someone younger. Now, I am unconvinced that David's going to leave Tampa. He spent his NFL career there. He'd be a home run signing. He and David Long would fit perfectly together as a linebacking duo. Meanwhile, Drue Tranquill, he had the Dolphins among his finalists when he was a free agent last time. The Eagles as well, plus the Chiefs, who of course ended up landing him in NFL free agency. So pick one of these 2 players to sign. LD for Lavonte David or DT for Drue Tranquill. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. Let's go more in depth here on Tranquill, then we'll come back to Lavonte David. Tranquill had a good season for the Chiefs, and I thought a good season for the Chargers as well. He fits kind of more of that run and chase, weak side linebacker, and I suspect that is what Miami is looking for. David Long can be your Mike. Not the biggest guy, but he's a good run stopper. Just has some coverage issues. Going after Tranquill, or I think a dream scenario is Lavonte David. Again, my hopes of him leaving Tampa are fairly low. He consistently makes plays, against the run, and I think he's going to be able to find a way to make big impact plays in the passing game. Because of that, I think David would be a great signing. I would be fine with Drue Tranquill or a lot of these veteran linebackers. It's much like safety, a strong class in free agency.